Okay, is that good? Ah, oh, beautiful. The new set. All right, it's beautiful Sunday morning. What time is it? It's 12:34 Texas time, October the 5th. And you might notice there's been some scene changes. Um, I don't know why I'm saying that. It's not like I'm talking to anyone because I don't have any subscribers. But if you're new here, you should. I've been filming in my closet in my room, and I just found out the other day, or not found out, but I remembered that this room exists. It's the attic that's in the closet of my brother's room. There's like a door to this attic. Um, and so you might be thinking, Austin, you're in an attic. Is it not extremely hot up there? And it's like, it's hot. I don't know like how hot I'd say it is, but it's hot. You might, yeah, I mean, I'm not using a microphone for this setup. I'm like literally gonna upload this video straight to YouTube, like not any editing or anything. But yeah, so uh, it's just a different scene, like change, because I feel like it's less likely for um, my parents to hear me, because I live with my two parents because I'm 17. 17 with a goatee. I mean, pretty cool. Um, and even so, I mean, the floors of our house, um, the floors of our house are very thin. What am I trying to say? We have thin walls, and so I was up here moving around, setting up this little setup, which I'm. My camera is stacked on top of USPS boxes that I had, just empty USPS boxes. Um, and I was moving around, and my mother could hear me moving around and messaged me, don't break anything, um, in the attic or whatever." Which, like, thanks for the advice, mom. I was planning on breaking some stuff, but now that she messaged me that, I guess I won't be doing that. So they probably, I don't know. Can they hear me? Oh, there's a little ruler over in this direction, um, that you can't see unless I wanted to move my camera around, but I don't. But so it looks like, I don't know. There's a little, like, I don't know how to describe it to you, but there's like stuff, and it's showing how deep up here this is to the floor of one of the downstairs room, and so we're like where the ceiling is, we're 12 inches above that. That took me so long to say, goodness gracious, but yeah, so relatively thick, but I can also see some light from, like, maybe that's the outside. That might actually be the outside. So I'm essentially just feeling, and it's where I'm in Texas, so you can imagine how hot it is up here. But it's okay. I've got ice water here and a little hydro flask. Is that where that is? I was trying to look for this. There's a light right here, obviously. I was trying to look for the light switch because it was just like on whenever I went up here. Is this it? Ooh, no, that was for. That might have just been for the AC, and it just turned off. So whoopsie. I usually have the AC off, like upstairs at least, anyways, because somehow it makes it so cold. Uh, First world problems, I know, but I have the AC off, and so it's like 75 degrees or something, and I'll just like turn my fan on, and it evens out. But whoopsie, did not know that did that. So that's fun. Now, what to talk about? I'm also recording in 4K. So I was recording in 1080p 60 frames per second. Now I'm doing 4K 24 frames per second. Um, I was thinking I might like get a light because I was using the light before, just a little square light, um, but I'm not using that now, but I might need to use that in the future just because I feel like, I mean, I'm not looking at the footage right now, but I feel like it's pretty dark. But yeah, so, what to talk about? I should have like notes so that I'm not forgetting some important stuff to say. Or like anytime something interesting happens, oh, that's a good idea. Since there's no schedule for these podcasts, I can just write down something interesting that happened that I might want to talk about on the pod. Okay, I like this idea. Um, I don't know what to talk about. You know, this so usually goes these things. Um, well, sure. Let's start off with what happened today. So recently, I mean, for the past 2 years, me and my family have been looking at like different denominations of Christianity. So we used to be in a sect that's called the Church of Christ that started in the 1800s. And I mean, right off the bat, that just kind of sounds weird. Like, if the Church of Christ is meant to be the one that's right, like God allowed for everyone to get it wrong for 1800 years after Jesus died, and then only just recently is the like one true church or whatever sprung about. He allowed them to get it wrong for 1800 years. That's a bit odd for me. But I mean, had the central beliefs and like, of course, Jesus coming to earth and dying on the cross for our sins, that we can live eternally with Him and stuff. And there's a lot of, I don't know, there was a lot of legalistic stuff and just problems that we had with the church to where we were like, okay, we're gonna have to leave that. And maybe I'll link a video that my father made with regards to why we left the church, that church, or the sect of churches. And there's the AC again. Is this thing hot? No, it's not. Um, it's a 3-hour long video, so there's a lot of reasons why we ended up leaving that sect of the church. But that was in September of 2023, and ever since then, we've still kind of been on this journey looking at different churches. One of the ones that we visited back then was an Orthodox church, and because we just wanted to like look at different like sects of Christianity, denominations, I guess. And so we went to the Orthodox church, and it was odd, like, to say the least. Like, first time never going to an Orthodox church, it was odd. Everyone, first of all, we thought it would be about 1 hour. It ended up being 3 hours, and the whole time, almost everyone there was standing the whole time, and you get pretty tired, like, standing for, at least me, I can't stand still for like 10 minutes. It's not an ADHD thing, that's just because like my legs are dumb and I have to be moving, otherwise I start shaking. I don't know why that is. But yeah, they're standing for 3 hours, besides like they have a 15-minute like little lesson in there where everyone sits, and the only places where there's seats is on the wall, along the wall, and so people would just be sitting on the floor once it's time for the lesson, so that's interesting. But this one that we found, this Orthodox church, is so far, for my family, besides my sister, has been the most compelling sect of Christianity. And so something, if you know about Christianity and like the different sects and stuff, you know that whenever the Protestant Reformation started in like the 1500s, that it started a new way of looking at Christianity called sola scriptura, which means by word alone, or something like that. It's a Latin phrase, which means that the Bible is the only source of truth, and like what God wants us to do is the only way that we can get our truth and what is necessary for us to do. We can only get that from the Bible. Whereas Catholic and Orthodox and a couple other like Protestant religions like Anglican and Lutherans kind of believe that. But yeah, Catholic and Orthodox Church do not practice sola scriptura as being like the only um, like if something's not in the Bible, then you can't do it. Like nowhere in the Bible does it say that you can use instruments in church, so therefore you can't. It doesn't say anything about instruments in church as far as I can see. It doesn't say that you should or shouldn't do it. But since it doesn't say either, that means you shouldn't do it, which is weird. I would think it would be the other way, since if that was so important, then like I think that would probably be listed in there. Like, I do not permit instruments to be used in church, but to sing wholeheartedly with your voice. But you don't see that in there. And so, also looking at church tradition, and Catholic Church for the past 2,000 years has used instruments, and the Catholic Church was started, was founded after Jesus died, and they've been using instruments. So, looking at church tradition, I mean, that was the first Catholic Orthodox. That's the first church. As far as I understand it, I might be getting this wrong. I think the Catholic and Orthodox was kind of like one that was east and west, or whatever, and then in 1100 or something, there was a great schism where they got divided on this one thing, and then that's how you came to Orthodoxes and Catholics being separate or something. I don't know. I could be completely wrong on that, but yeah, they were using instruments in church, like the earliest church that we have of Christianity. Were doing that, and they were wrong. No, I don't think so. Looking at church tradition is another way, like I said, to know what is right for God. And what you might be thinking, like, Austin, what about back whenever the Protestant Reformation was happening? They were having indulgences in the Catholic Church, and doing that whole thing. We had to pay to get either you or your family members out of purgatory and stuff. And yeah, I agree that that was wrong, that the Catholic Church was doing that. But I ain't looking into Catholicism. I'm looking at Orthodoxy. And as far as I can see, at least through history, I've not seen many things that I disagree with, or that is contrary to the Bible from Orthodoxes. But you see that with many other denominations, including Catholicism, of course. And so here's the thing. Sola Scriptura. So you have Catholic and Orthodox that don't have Sola Scriptura, and then majority, if not all, besides maybe Anglican and Lutheran, of the Protestant denominations believe in Sola Scriptura. So I don't believe in Sola Scriptura, and I also don't believe in the Pope, which kind of leaves me only to one option, which would be Orthodoxy. And so that's kind of where we've been thinking right now, is Orthodoxy. And another thing I really love about Orthodoxy is that, at least if you're outside of the Orthodox faith, if you go to a Baptist or Church of Christ church, all you have to do to be accepted into the church is profess, the Word of God, and that you believe in the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and then you get baptized. And I say that's all you do. That's a very important thing. I'm not going to deny that, but it's about what leads up to that I think is very important, that I think we should care about. In Orthodox Church, whenever you start the process to become Orthodox, it's called you're called a catechumen. At least if you start out outside of the Orthodox Church. I think if you're born into the Orthodox Church, or you're baptized as a baby into Orthodox Church, then you don't have this process. I went on to, I recorded for another 12 minutes, and then I noticed that there's a little reflection that I can see behind the camera, that shows the lights of the camera, and I noticed that was gone, and I was like, did the camera stop recording? It did. Apparently the memory in the camera got full, so I went to wherever I was talking in the video beforehand and just started recording then. or I'm gonna go back to what I was saying then. I went in a whole another like topic, but whatever. Anyways, the process of baptism. I'm not saying that the process of baptism that's a bad thing. That you get baptized and you profess of course that's a good thing. But in my opinion, I think that with being catechumen, the fact that it's like a long process, like they're actually making sure that you're ready to live that life, to live a life in devotion of God, to God. They're actually making sure that that's something that you're ready for. And I don't know. There was some other stuff I said, but I don't know. It's the camera stopped recording, so it kind of messed me up in my groove. And then I started to talk about where I work, and I forget how I got into that conversation, but I did. So I'll just go back into that. But I work at a running shoe store. Working at a running shoe store, you get a lot of free shoes. Even these shoes that I'm wearing right now, those are free shoes. These are called the Hilo Impacts. Hilo's the brand and Impact is the model. It was started like 5 years ago in UK, so the British, which I don't like. I don't like the British, obviously. Viva la USA. But yeah, they're actually not that bad. They're made with recycled material, and you can kind of tell that. But honestly, I've used like these on my runs before, and they're actually not that bad. But I would never recommend them to a customer as a running shoe. It would just be a walking shoe. But for me personally, they're not that bad of a running shoe from what I've seen. Yeah, I've gotten a few different shoes there. I mean, yeah, working there, we have a chart that says the different sizes of the employees. So yeah, whenever we get a return also, if there's one in your size, then you can get one. Although there's two of us there that have the same shoe size, and so whenever there's a return, it's either me or him that will get the shoe because we wear the same shoe size. But honestly, I'm fine if he gets all of them because I've gotten plenty of shoes so far. They also give you like free shoes like that are called seeds, which they plant those, so to speak. That's why they're called seeds, so that you can start wearing them, start running them, whatever, and you're able to sell them better to the customer. And yeah, I've run in many of the shoes. I've run in all of the shoes that I've gotten seeded and were returns, and they're all great. Honestly, I run well in anything except for there's one shoe, I won't mention it, but there's one shoe that I'm not a fan of that I've gotten. At least for running, I use it for walking. I usually wear it to work. But for some reason, whenever I run, and I think it might be because whenever I was kind of breaking it in, I broke it in when I was walking. I think it's better whenever I'm running to get more familiar feel with it. But for some reason, every time I run with it, it starts hurting my right ankle, and I don't know why. But I've gotten another one from the same brand, and I love it. I just ran on a 6-mile run yesterday wearing the other one, but I won't mention it because I don't want to talk bad about any of the brands that I sell, because I'll still sell them, like, because and the one I was just talking about, like, I still use it as a walking shoe, so I think it's good for, and like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean others won't. But yeah, and I'm sure there was some other stuff I was talking about, man. I don't know because my camera just decided to stop recording. But yeah, I wonder how this 4K resolution is looking. Is it looking dapper? Oh, there's my phone. Let's see. Oh, my brother got a flat tire. That's fun. Oh, is it B-roll time? Okay, it's not. Okay, I'll take a B-reel of y'all. Beautiful. Beautiful. That's awesome. People are gonna love this. But people are also gonna be like, dude, where the heck are you? Because, you know, the insulation and stuff. I might as well just show you what I'm talking about, you know, it doesn't hurt. But I mean, yeah, I'm literally in the attic. And here's what I was talking about with the USPS boxes. So, yeah, and that's the only light that I'm getting. I don't know where. Wait, there's a wire. And that might be connecting where it is. Nope. I don't know how to turn this thing on and off. But, yeah, there you go. Come on. Yep, and there's this little, I think I was mentioning this earlier, this little ruler. Wait, where is it? Yeah. There you go. 11 inches. So, there's the tour. And I have a microphone, or there's a software that I use on OBS. What am I saying? I use OBS whenever I'm recording my microphone, which might sound weird because that's a video recording thing and I'm using it just for audio. But it's because it has, and there might be some other stuff that has this too, but I just know how to do it in OBS, is audio reduction for like background noises. So I could like record with my Blue Yeti microphone and have this all be non-existent, but it's easier if I just record with a camera. Plus I'd have to bring my computer in here, and I don't want that thing burning up more than it already does. I've had that thing for like, oh my gosh, I think 5 years? I think I've had that thing for 5 years. And it works like a charm. But, I don't want it burning up. So, you have to make sacrifices. Maybe I should just like turn off the AC. I mean, I wonder. No, because this this AC is also connected to the bottom, like the downstairs of the house. So at least I'm assuming. I don't know. There may be different ones, but yeah. I've got time. I've got time to talk. I mean, you and I, we could talk for hours. I could talk about whatever I want, and you'll still be sitting here just listening to me. Apparently, I didn't make a podcast episode about this for some reason. Whenever Charlie Kirk got murdered and assassinated, but apparently that same day, from what I heard, Donald Trump, something was announced by the White House that they're not going to be looking at the Epstein files anymore. Like that's the whole, like they're done with that case, and so it's kind of coincidental that happened at the same time as this murder. So they're like, focus on this thing rather than us doing this thing. And also, I mean, I was like, there's no way that whatever the official narrative is that they're telling us, there's no way that's like even like 50% true. There's no way that it's this. What they're telling, there's a lot of plot holes in what they're telling us about the official narrative about Tyler Robinson being the assassin of Charlie Kirk. There's a lot of plot holes. There's a lot of also strange stuff that, like, with his wife, and how, like, 5 days or whatever, I don't know, like, she got over the death of her husband so fast. And that's strange. Like, the mourning process usually takes a lot longer than that. But nope, she was fine after like 10 days even. Like, she started being on his podcast. She took over as CEO of Turning Point USA. There's something, if it's not suspicious, it's just at the very least odd. There's something odd about that. And from what I heard, none of her family or Charlie's family were at his memorial service for some reason, or his funeral. Why? Like, what's with that? Not invited? There's something odd going on here. And as far as like something else that this is not really, I mean, maybe this is like predictive programming or something, or something with time traveling. But in like the late 1990s, there's a movie that came out called Snake Eyes, with Nicolas Cage, and at the beginning of this movie, It starts in a boxing ring like match. People are screaming and yelling and all that stuff. And there's a sign that you can see that says, I don't know what some of it says, but there's two words that say execution, Tyler, and then there's a date that says September 10th. It's a bit blurry, but it either says September 10th, September 19th, or September 18th. And let's just say it was September 10th for the sake of it. Execution, Tyler, his supposed murderer, Charlie's murderer, and the name, and then a few minutes later, there's a dude who gets assassinated and shot in the neck, whose name is Charles Kirkland. September 10th, Tyler execution, Charles Kirkland shot in the neck. That's really weird. Like, there's something suspicious about how close that is to what actually happened here. I mean, Charles Kirkland, like, Charles is the more formal way of saying Charlie. Like, Charlie's a nickname for Charles. And then Kirkland, you could shorten that to Kirk. That's a bit weird. What is Charlie Kirk's full name? Charlie Kirk full name. Charles James Kirk. He has the same middle name as me. Same middle name as me. James. It's a handsome name right there. James. I mean, that just evokes masculinity. Toxic masculinity. And I'm all for it. I think if we didn't have toxic masculinity in this world, I mean, there'd be no babies. So, think about that. Also, this American flag. There's a summer camp that I go to every year. And, well, next year will be my last year because I'll be a senior and then I can't do it after that. I could become a counselor, but I don't want to because like I was talking about, that's a Church of Christ camp, and I'm not Church of Christ, but I still go to it because I've got friends there, but I wouldn't be a counselor there. But yeah, it goes through July 4th, unfortunately, so I can't spend that with my family, but the theme for that day is America, and this is actually a cape. This is a cape of the American flag that you can, like, wear around. It's got this little, like, knot on here or whatever that you can wear around you, and I dressed up like Uncle Sam for it, and if I desire to edit this video at all, here's a picture of that, but I probably don't care enough to put that up there. I don't know, you're seeing this. I was already planning on uploading this straight to my computer, but now I can't do that because I have to put both of the camera, like the recordings together, because my camera stopped recording because it's stupid. But yeah. So I dressed up as Uncle Sam for July 4th this year, and oh my goodness, it was awesome. I also got a buzz cut while I was at camp, and so I haven't cut my hair ever since then. So July 5th or whatever was whenever I got my most recent haircut. And I trimmed the sides myself here because I'm trying to keep a clean shave besides the goatee. So, but yeah, got a buzz cut. I mean, I feel like guys in the summer, that's just like what you do. That's just what you have to do. Is it legally obligated? No, not obligated, required that you get a buzz cut. That should be a law. You know, my brother has a buzz cut right now because he's in the Corps of Cadets at A&M. So he has to, everyone's the same there. He's a fish. He's a dirty little fish. Yeah. First day that he went into the Corps of Cadets, he was like, yeah, I'm coming back. I can't do this. And my dad was like, no. No, you're not. No siree. And now he loves it there. It's still difficult, of course. Yeah, he I don't know, he goes to sleep at he tries to go to sleep at 9:30 because they have to wake up at 4:30. So what is that? That's 7 hours of sleep. He's getting no more than 7 hours of sleep at night, which is that's a minimum of what you need to get. 7 to 9 hours, 6 and 7 hours. That's not that much. But yeah, he's enjoying it there. I think. Let's see. Oh, my friend mentioned me in a repost. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. One of my friends sent me a reel.
Whatever you're doing today, my nigga, just make sure you have a good day. Hey, excuse me, brother. Hey, quick question, man. I'm looking for the
That was amazing. Alright. I'm just trying to get my notifications down, and then someone else is like texting me, but like I don't want to click on the text, because like then if I click on the text, then it's gonna be marked as read, so then they're gonna think I read it, but then I didn't respond to it, but I can't respond to it right now, so like I've read it, but I can't respond to it right now, and so it seems like I'm just like ignoring them and leaving them unread, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. So, you know, the problems of an American white boy. Am I right? Also, I have a Samsung. Yes, yeah, okay. Got a problem with that. It's a beautiful, beautiful Samsung. I've got a new slogan. I've got a new slogan for the Republican Party. Make America great and glorious and good and gigantic and gooey and gluey. So, you know, I need to work on that. I need to work on my impression. It's not good. What is this podcast? You know, how success brings good? We're not talking about success, come on. There's never a plan for any of these things. I just turn the camera on and I just let my brain do whatever it wants. Because I can keep talking for so long. I can talk for so long. There's an infinite amount of things to talk about that. You ever realize that? There's an infinite amount of things. I've said this before, but if the universe is infinite, then Hyrule has to be out there somewhere. Okay, Link, Zelda, Ganondorf, they're all real. Mario, wahoo! He's real. Okay? Luigi, I can't do Luigi. I can't do Luigi. Wario, I can't do Wario. Waluigi, I'm not doing that. Daisy, hi, I'm Daisy. I can't do that. Peach, Peachy. Toad, Bowser, this is gonna make me sound autistic. I'm gonna stop now. People are gonna genuinely think that I have autism. Not that there's anything wrong with that, by the way. Aren't they like trying to work for a cure for autism? I feel like I saw RFK talking about that and how autism like is a disease or something, which I disagree. Cause like autistic people, like it depends on like how far you are on the spectrum, but some people with autism are freaking geniuses. Like photographic memory, they're geniuses at math. They're just like pure geniuses. It depends on where you are in the spectrum, but like as far as a cure for autism, I feel like I don't know. I feel like that would just make society boring. Now, there's some autistic people who are genuinely just weird, and I don't like mean to be rude, but like, you know, just some of them are a little bit weird, you know. It's like me saying like, you know, some blacks are weird, you know. You're gonna have some of that. Some whites are weird, some Indians, okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's just truth, you know. Some Puerto Ricans are weird, okay. Some Japanese people are weird. Some Chinese. Some Canadians. So let's just see how many countries I can name of. I'm gonna go from left to right in Europe. At least try to. Portugal, Ireland, Wales, UK, Spain, France, Denmark. I forget. Sweden's on the right, I think, and Norway's on the left. Then under Denmark is Germany, Switzerland, Slovakia, Czech, Italy, Poland, Turkey, Hungary. I actually don't know where Hungary is. And then as far as African countries, there's Sao Tome and Principe or something like that. There's Niger, there's Chad, there's Nigeria, Madagascar, South Africa, Democratic Republic of something, Lesotho. Did you know that if a country, did you know, if Italy were to turn itself inside out, then that'd be really weird because countries don't usually do that. Some dad jokes for you. If the Earth were the size of your eyeball, then the moon would still be the same size, unless it wasn't. You ever know how fine-tuned the universe is? It is so fine-tuned, to the point where it's impossible that we'd be here without a God, because of how precise everything would have to be. Either we won the greatest lottery ever, and we're here, but then life is meaningless if there is no God. And you might be if you're an atheist, you might be thinking well, no, if life is for making the future generations' lives better than ours, and I would say no. But if that's the case, well, that's just gonna be the purpose for everybody. Everybody's just working to make others' lives better. That's good, but ultimately you're not working towards anything. If there's nothing to this life, after this life, then why not everybody just kill themselves? It genuinely, it just doesn't make sense. I don't think you can have real purpose in life without a God. That's just my opinion. But maybe I'm biased because I am a Christian. I don't know. You tell me. But, yeah. This is going to be the longest episode because I had to record twice. Because things are stupid. But, whatever. I thought I heard kids screaming. I don't know. They do that sometimes. But yeah. My mother told me that I can make these videos in the attic so long as I have the door to the attic open and the closet door that leads to this room. And it's I don't really think it's making that much of a difference. My mom was like, Austin, you'll suffocate if you make videos up there. Which, I don't know where she got that from, that I was going to make videos up here, because I was not actually planning on doing that. I told my father that, oh, that'd be pretty cool if I, could make videos up here. I was saying if I could. And then, apparently, my dad told my mother that I was making videos up there, and which was not the case, because I wasn't going to make videos up here because I was okay, well, they're definitely not going to allow me to do it. But then my mom said I can do it if blah blah blah, which is okay, sure. I wasn't even planning on making videos up here, but now that you're giving me permission, sure. Because I don't know, if she just didn't say anything to me, then I would have not been making videos up here. But nope, whatever. It's great. Thought I saw something out of the corner of my eye, but nope. It's great. I don't like how awkward it gets whenever the AC turns off. There's just nothing. There's just nothing there. Um, any good movies lately? I don't think so. You guys seen that Superman, Man of Steel one? Um, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I don't like the part where, where Superman was like, "I'm as much a human as anyone else," which is like, no, you're not. You are an alien. Um, and I'm just gonna say it. If you want to be a citizen of America, you gotta go through the legal processes that require that. You know, just be a law-abiding citizen. He's like, you know, I shouldn't have to do that or whatever. It's like, no, if you're gonna trespass into our territory, you gotta create a citizenship for yourself. So I disagree with that, but whatever. He's a he's a god among men, so I guess he can make his own rules. But I just think it's a bit stupid that he's like, I'm as much a human as anyone else. When it's like, dude, you can shoot lasers from your eyes and travel at the speed of lights, and I don't think that you're as much a human as us. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Now, Homelander, that's our guy. Homelander, I love you. Hey, I would never betray you. Okay? But, yeah, we got 3 minutes left. We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm reflect. Still use your inhibition. Follow your intuition. I can't speak. Follow your intuition. Cause when you're that's how we Alright. Well, I think that makes for a great ending for episode 4? 5? I'm gonna guess 5. Of How Success Brings Good. Lesson of the day. Don't be racist. That's gonna be... I'll end every episode now with a lesson of the day. Don't be racist, or I'll be racist back. Have a good night, everyone. Don't forget to eat your greens, or I'll eat you.